what's going on, everybody? You are listening to the SANE Show, the show about nothing and everything. I'm your host, Cliff, and today I have with us singer, songwriter, producer, and CEO of NeverMind Creative Productions, Nicholas Cousar. How you doing, Nick?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I thank everybody for allowing me to be a part of the show this evening, man. Thank you for having me on the SANE Show, man.
Yeah, excited to have you on. We go way back for the listeners that don't know. We go, how far back we go?
Way back, like 4 flats on the Cadillac, man. Drawing chalkboard in the sandbox. I'm telling you.
Man, you were definitely that guy to look up to.
I mean, I thank you, man.
Back in school, man. For real. You were always that shining example. So, you know.
I learned from you, man. I learned from you, man. Just definitely, just being able to pull from everybody that's around you.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely did that.
Yeah, I mean, I
definitely did that. So we got a true leader right here on the SANE Show, guys. Really quick, I want to go ahead and shout out everybody. I want to shout out the listeners and all of the SANE Show followers. Thank you guys for always listening and, tuning in to the SANE Show, everyone across the world and all 41 plus countries that we have listening. Thank you guys. Continue to spread the word. Continue listening and tuning in to the SANE Show. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, SANE_show, and Twitter, SANE_show, SANE_show, and then you can check us out on Facebook, The SANE Show. So feel free to drop us a message, shoot us a note. Got any questions or want to know more about the guests that we have on, feel free to follow us and check us out to stay on top of The SANE Show. So today we'll be talking about arts programs in schools.
Okay.
And
great topic, man.
Yeah, and how it also, just the overall importance of extracurricular activities, as you were kind of mentioning, prior to the recording.
Definitely.
And then we'll talk about a place that I just got back from. I thought I was going to make a day trip yesterday, but I got back this morning, Atlanta.
Hey, man, ATL? ATL, man, I'm telling you. That's the place to be. That's the place to be right there. If you haven't visited Atlanta, if you need to go to Atlanta, you have the opportunity to experience a lot about the culture. A lot.
That's the truth. So I'm excited, and you're living in Atlanta now.
Yes,
so
man.
It's just funny how that came to be one of the topics, and then follow that. Yeah. We'll have the interview, let the listeners learn a little bit more about you, what you have going on with NeverMind Creative, and all the other things that you're involved in as well.
Definitely, I appreciate that.
So I want to go ahead and hop into it. Arts programs and extracurricular activities in schools. Mm-hmm. So you and I, we attended Northwest School of the Arts.
Definitely.
Really big in the arts and known on I would probably say international
scale.
Yeah. And a lot of great people have come out of that program. Yes. Yourself, myself, and countless others. Mm-hmm. I just think that's great to have a conversation with someone like yourself who's been through that program, and not just me speaking, but the importance of having those kinds of programs, the arts. And because I think sometimes, extracurricular activities in general are great. Yes, playing football, basketball, wrestling, or even, things like the chess club.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes the arts tend to be overlooked when you compare it to
aspect, sports
right.
and everything else. Yes, I could definitely expound on that, man. It was funny, making a decision, as you say, when it comes to arts, even for myself, I would say. Mm-hmm. Coming out of elementary, it was like, well, what is, that you want to do? Of course, having Northwest, being at the opportunity, being from the 6th through the 12th grade, and everybody's like, well, to play sports, you got to go to your home school, or you're not going to be able to do both. So anybody that loves music or any type of arts, media, dance, drama, poetry, anything, I think, that's an ultimate decision that you have to make. If this is your passion, if this is your gift, if this is your talent you want to expound on, I advise anybody to go to any extracurricular activity because it's positive. It's something to give you the ability to escape the world. You can continue to grow within your craft. You can continue, of course, to really own your craft and know exactly who you are and what it is that you want to become, when coming into it. So it was a blessing, going into Northwest, of course, having an audition to get in, but being able to see all the things you can learn from being, in your preteens, all the way up, till you graduate 12th grade, that if you do it the right way, when it comes to auditions, you have mentors that can help you, and coach you along the way of getting you to the place, where you want to be.
Right.
But I will say you got to put in the work, you
Yeah.
know, in order to make it happen.
Yeah.
My father always tell my brother not growing up that business first, play later. If you can handle your business and make sure all your business is in line, I mean, the world is yours to play with.
Right.
You can do whatever you want to do
I
at
agree.
that point.
I agree.
You know, but it was a blessing. You know, it was a blessing, definitely. You know, just having, you know, your parents. You know, of course, definitely your backbone, your support system, praying for you. You know, of course, and just you just knowing God first and just allow Him just to lead you in that way as well. Because everyone in the world, man, has a gift. And when it comes to extracurricular activities, it's not like every other school out there that does have a sports. When it comes to arts and media, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, well, you don't fit in. You're right. I don't fit in.
Right.
When it comes to the average, or you can say people who choose sports when it comes to versus media side, because a lot of people say, hey, everybody that wants to be in the entertainment want to be a sports player. Everybody that plays sports in that field wants to be an entertainer. Just as Drake said it best, you know, in his song at that point. But I think, you know, with that, it gives you the ability to learn who you are. It gives you the ability, of course, to stay out of trouble. You know, because the way the world is nowadays, you know, back in our day growing up, it was just like, yo, this is where you're going.
Yeah.
You know, you do something, you cut up, your parents discipline you at that point. Now, I don't know what's going on. What's wrong with these kids these days?
It's funny because when I think about the arts, I think sometimes I feel like we discount it because people don't or might not think that there's an equal amount of discipline needed to be successful in the arts as there is to be a successful athlete or whatever other like extracurricular that is non-arts related.
Yes.
And especially like my little cousin, like right now, actually his birthday, happy birthday, wants to be an actor.
Okay.
And one of the things I would like him to know is like you got to know like that's a serious craft. That takes a lot of discipline. You got to be able to memorize lines, you know, and then of course, you know, being on time for rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. So you clearly understand that very well, like just the amount of discipline that goes into being successful at your craft. Because it's a lot. Go ahead.
If I had to say when it comes to that, it's all about your teaching and your training. Mentors and people, you know, of course, that are around you that hold yourself accountable. You know, accountability, you know, of course, a lot of us don't like to take accountability for our actions and things that we do. So when you have people in your corner, you know, that's always hard on you, and you be like, man, why does teacher always riding me? Or why this person always saying something? No, because sometimes, you know, at that part of life, they see something in you more than you can see in yourself, you know, at that moment. It just goes about come a point in the time when it's like, okay, if I want this to work, these are the things that I got to have in line in order to pull this off. You know, as they say, you're late if you're on time. If you're early, you know, you ahead of the game at that point. You ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, so it's just your best to keep that, you know what I'm saying, as a mindset when it comes to that. I think it's too home training too. It definitely starts with home training. Yeah. You know, definitely. And it starts at a young age growing up. It's like, for instance, your parents tell you, hey, get off the video games, you got to be downstairs, you know, at the dinner table by this time, you know, so we can discuss that at family time. Yo, you better have them games cut off, you know, downstairs. You don't want your mom and your pops to come in there and kick your door in like, Marty, didn't I tell you need to be downstairs? Nah, I ain't got time for that. Trust me, I had a few nights like that, you know what I'm saying? You into the video at that point, everything getting taken away from you, because I think, you know, when you hold yourself accountable, you know, or when you are held accountable, you know, for your actions, for what you do, you don't get the rewards, you know, for the things that you want to do. Right. You know, so you got to be able to discipline yourself. But then I think for me, one thing that I learned, and I can tell this story, if my mother's tuning in, or she do tune in, she'll probably be the one like, yep, I remember. So I got suspended from school one year. Oh, man. And almost, you know, I don't condone fighting, ladies and gentlemen, at all whatsoever. So I just want to tell all the listeners that are out there, I don't condone fighting at all whatsoever, but there all comes a time when you do have to stand up for yourself. But I still don't condone fighting. After you done told all the adults in the world, then, you know, you may have to take a stand for yourself. No, man, it was actually at Northwest, man. I got suspended, man. They wanted to give me like the maximum amount of days, you know, I've been saying of being suspended. If I was talking about, Nick, you caused a riot. I ain't caused no riot. We was about to get ready to fight in the middle of the highway. Yeah. But, you know, of course, when you start involving yourself, you know what I'm saying, around people, just, you can say trouble, because I'm not a troubled child at all whatsoever. You know, there are things, you know, when it comes to time where you may feel like, you know, being a young age that you got to prove a point to somebody. You may got to prove a point to yourself. You may got to prove a point to a bully. You know, at that point, you know, I think it's not as big as it is now as it was back then, for people say, oh, you were being bullied or this how you feel. So you felt like, you had to stand up for yourself.
Right.
Well, of course, long story short, got into a little altercation with a few guys at school. Everybody got suspended. It was like, we'll give you the maximum amount of days. This is at Northwest, by the way. But besides that, when you have teachers, when you have parents that know exactly your upbringing and people, that can bat for you, it's just like, okay, this is not your character. You're not just going to blow up, just from out of anywhere.
Right.
How does it work? Well, we were planning a trip to New York through the Dragon Records at Northwest at that time.
I remember that trip.
Mr. Michael A. Washington.
Yes.
Rest in peace. That's definitely my mentor. But I went to Mr. French's office. And I remember my mother getting called that day. My father had a surprise for me when I got home. I think I was getting a car that day. I think, my father tuned in. He may be able to vouch for me on that one. But we were there that day. It was like, yeah, Nick, so you get suspended. So my mom, she took the cell phone. I gave her the cell phone. She called my father that day in the office, was like, don't get him the car. That was funny. Now, it's funny because I'm just holding everything over like it's not nothing. Here, man, you go the phone, you go the keys. I promise you, the part where it fell out is when she said, Mr. French is like, yeah, it's great, unfortunately. So you're not going to be able to go to the New York trip. At that point, man, I fell out in the middle of the floor like a little kid in the candy store. It's like your mother told you can't have that. You can't have no sweet before dinner. Man, look, you act like somebody killed me in that office. I didn't get the phone. You can have the phone.
Yeah.
The getting called say I get a call when it's due time. But for you to take something that I love away from me,
right?
Nah. They knew exactly at that point how to get to me because they knew exactly how much I love music. I would wrap myself up in music, man. Listen to all the greatest hits: Luther Vandross, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Jacksons, Michael Jackson, Kool in the Game, producers from Prince. I mean, up and down. You know what I'm saying? Gospel music: Kurt Franklin, Fred Hammond. Donnie McClurkin, Yolanda Adams, just everything in music, man, all within itself. Music does a lot to people, man. It makes you feel good. It makes you happy. It can affect your mood for what mood you in. And to me, it was like, that was my way, to escape the world. But to do all the things that you was going to do in that trip, to go to Radio Music City Hall in New York, go to the Virgin Mobile store in New York with all the records in the world, be able to go to the recording studio, and write your own lyrics and take your own records that you've created back at home. And it's like, I get an opportunity, to go to another city and state, the Big Apple as they call it, or the city that never sleeps.
Right.
Where you have endless possibilities, You see Broadway plays. A lot of students, or a lot of peers or people don't get an opportunity, man, to move, or even go places. A lot of people ain't even been down the street on the other side of their block, far less can even tell you what a whole nother city or state looks like.
Right.
But these are things that we've seen in movies. These are cities and states that we've seen in particular sitcoms, where students at that time in being Northwest, these are things that we looked up to. If you're a dancer and you went to Northwest, man, I want to go to Juilliard, in New York, or if you're a producer, I want to go to Berklee School of Music, in Boston, I want to go to Berklee School of Music out in California, or you just look at things, where a place to reside, back. As Charlotte grows up, as they say, Atlanta then became the new Hollywood over the time. So by the time I got to 12th grade and all of that, man, it was really, I had to get myself together. Hold yourself accountability for your actions. But these are things along the way that I've learned, that I have the ability, tools and resources and things that I can take and apply them to life, man. So that was it.
Great stuff.
Appreciate
stuff.
It.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive into our next topic. We're going to talk about Atlanta, the ATL, Chocolate City. one of my favorite places. And again, I was down there yesterday and ended up staying overnight. And it's just a great place. And I was telling somebody this morning on my way back, was talking to one of my good friends, and I said, one of the things I love about Atlanta, every time I go down there, I catch a vibe.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
It's that wave, man.
It is, and I just feel really different, and it's so great because it's not like say when I was in college and I got that vibe, and now when I go back it's a different vibe because I'm not a student there anymore.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You know that's a whole nother ballgame.
Right.
It's like
feels,
you're a student, you gotta be disciplined. You can't go out. You
right.
go to your professor and one of the little lounges. You be like, Professor, what you doing in here? You got that test tomorrow.
Right.
That's right. You got that test tomorrow.
So when I go to places like Atlanta and New York, I get those vibes when I go there. It's always the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I go down there, I'm ready to cut up.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, you really have a good time, you know what I'm saying, when you come to the ATL, man. When you come to the ATL, expect to party, expect to have fun, expect just to be able to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? So much about the culture down there. The music has changed. The food is good.
Right.
You know, there's so many people, man, from all different areas of the world, different ethnicities, you know, that are there. You know, you have the ability, you know what I'm saying, to pull from. And you meet people from all over the world that have different experiences that can introduce you, man, you know what I'm saying, to about, you know, the area from where they're from, their culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, and where they were born. You learn a lot, man. I learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, from the AUC. I got a few friends, you know what I'm saying, that went to Georgia State. I started out at the Art Institute of Atlanta, and then I transferred over to Georgia Perimeter at the Clarkson campus. So shout out to everybody at the Clarkson campus and the Dunwoody campus. So, you know, I got to shout out to y'all. But even within that aspect, man, you know, I've learned and discovered myself from transitioning from Charlotte to moving to Atlanta. That there was a decision, you know what I'm saying, that I had to really make. You know, as where is it, you know, that you want to go to school? What is that you want to do? So I knew by the time I left Northwest before I moved to Atlanta that music was what I wanted to do. I wanted to pursue a career in music. So I transferred, man. After graduation, I left and went to the Art Institute of Atlanta from there. And that's when I was able to take everything that I learned from Northwest and really apply it, you know, to the real world, as they say. Because when you get out of college, you out of your parents' house. So it's like, yo, your parents ain't going to be there to wake you up, you know what I'm saying, for school in the morning. Even though my parents, look, we got you this alarm clock. You better learn how to use it. You better use it. You better be in class on time, too.
Right.
But yeah, man, Atlanta, man, has that vibe and that wave, man. It does something to you. It feels, you know, good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're right at home when you go to Atlanta, I should say.
You know, it's so funny you say that because I tell people, especially, you know, having a lot of family down there.
Yeah.
Even it's like Atlanta's home number 2.
Right.
I feel at home every time I'm down there.
Definitely.
You know, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Like if I went further south to live, Atlanta would be the place I would go.
I mean, it's not that far from back at home, you know what I'm saying, from Charlotte. Only 3.5 hours, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's back and forth. I tell everybody, they need to build a speed train from Atlanta to Charlotte, you know what I'm saying? That's how well they're connected. Yeah. You know?
I mean, we even try to take things from Atlanta to
bring it back up here,
right,
man.
right,
you know,
to be like them. So.
Charlotte is going to, you know, Charlotte's becoming its own area, you know?
Right.
New York is New York.
Right.
California is California. I haven't been out there yet. My little brother, Jeremy Cousar, if you're watching, you didn't beat me out there, you know, so you won that bet a long time ago. But you better believe I'm be out there soon. I got some family and friends out there I got to go see, man.
Word, me too.
And Atlanta, man, you know what I'm saying, is its own, man. Capital hub, man, when it comes to building up so much within the arts and the media, man.
Right.
And the sound, you know, and things. So Atlanta's the place to be.
Yeah, definitely a destination, because that was one of the things I wanted to touch on too, especially, you know, we're talking about the arts. Yeah. So, you know, Atlanta being really, we talk about the Southeast, because, you know, we got 2 places on the East Coast, you know, New York in the north, and we got Atlanta in the south.
Right.
A lot of filming going on there, a lot of music being made there, and I think it's really cool to see how far Atlanta has come in the amount of time as well. You know, a few decades ago, like really blew up, especially hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and being, you know, it serving as one of the main hubs. So, what are you seeing from your experience being down there?
When I first started and actually moved to Atlanta, I realized that everybody does the same thing that you do. So at that point, it was like, yo, how are you going to create, you know what I'm saying, your own lane, you know, when it comes to this business? You know, how are you going to get in where you fit in? But one thing that I learned about a few things in college is all about your network. You know, how do you network with the right people? You know, there's so many things that has changed. Like at one point, Mr. Tyler Perry opened up, you know what I'm saying, and bought area and land for Tyler Perry Studios down in the area of, I could say, south of Atlanta. Not too far from there. He got a few places out there. But then Conyers on this side, going back up 20, that's on north of Atlanta. They came and there's a music studio, you know, that built out there. Well, a film studio that built out there. And now, you know, everything with the market when it comes to media and everything, it has expanded so much. It's out, man, in the urban areas, man. You see little cones and stuff on the side of the street was like parking over here, extras only, you know, where things are just moving. I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, it has the ability to do with certain laws, you know what I'm saying, that have been passed, you know, of getting, you know, performing rights organizations and things, or people, I would say, you know, specific credits and things where they need to be when it's due. When it comes to that particular aspect of the music side, of the business side, you know, your publishing or your particular, your royalties, your rights, you know, on that side. But then of course you have the other side when you're trying to get your foot in the door as being an extra. You know, you got to go through so many casting calls and things of that nature. when it comes to the logistics of it, it's always changing. The wave is hot over here. This show may be filming over here, so you may have to go. Like, I remember at one point they were hosting extras for The Walking Dead. You just turn around and look at me at the place, hey, somebody, hey, you looking for extras, or I'm looking for this person to come do that. So the culture within itself, man, when it comes to the media, even the people that's there, T.I., Jermaine Dupri, haven't had the opportunity to meet, these gentlemen yet. But in due time, in God's time, I have the ability, to continue to network and connect with the right people.
Yeah.
It leads you to the places, where you want to be. Even from there, just friends and families, people that I know, people that has a good sound, that's coming out of Atlanta, hey, Big Crit, Deontay Hitchcock. So, man, if you're looking, Brandon Phillips Taylor, a producer that's there, a lot of different businesses from Body Crystals, Divinely Couture Beauty, to Neil K, everything that are there. And these are, friends of the families and family that I know that have their own businesses and actually making the sounds and waves and moves, and God just opened up doors for them as well. And when I moved to Atlanta, like I say, at one point it was just the essence of music. This is where I'm trying to get into, trying to do music. I didn't have an idea of doing anything as far as media-wise. I just knew I loved being in front of the camera. And just sitting down, talking to my brother, I realized that as being an older brother, as being a leader, or you could say a mentor to others, just how others have been mentors to me, my way of giving back was that you have to be able to stay on a straight path. Now, I'm not perfect, by any means, but you try to strive, for greatness. You try to strive, for success. And it's no more that you're trying anymore, you're doing. So when I wanted to do an idea, I was like, hey, I got this camera, but what could I do with it? These are the things, I just want to take pictures, but then when you sit back and listen in the tune and you want to see exactly how far you can be stretched within your craft, to make a lane for yourself, you got to do some things, you wouldn't have thought you would never do before. Yeah. So I remember sitting down one day at a restaurant with a friend, and we were sitting down talking about businesses, and I was like, yo, what do you want to do? How do you want to do this? Or what are things that you want to do? And I just started expounding on, maybe this is an idea. There's so much stuff to do within Atlanta. You just got to find your way, to fit in and what works for you, and how to make it work.
Okay. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So as I thought and as it sounds, there's definitely a lot of opportunity in the city of Atlanta.
Oh, definitely.
It's just a matter of getting with the right people,
yes,
and knowing where to go,
yes,
where to be. So it sounds a lot like a lot of these other cities, like just being in the right place. Because I know there are quite a few people that I've had the chance to talk to that are in Atlanta, and one of them I had on the show, Wilt Wallace. He's at Warner Bros. Records down there, so
okay,
I had a chance to talk to him, and we kind of talked about Atlanta a little bit as well. So and some of those same things, I'm hearing from you, I heard from him.
Yes, sir.
And especially, I know, working at a label like that, they wanted him to go to L.A. or they offered to take him out there, but he chose to stay in Atlanta. So for him to do that, it said a lot to me. Like, okay, you don't just stay somewhere for the sake of staying somewhere. Like, it's got to be something keeping you there. So from him, it made sense. And hearing from you as someone that's on the come up, like, there's obviously a lot of reason why someone would want to stay there and having a position like that at a label. Go ahead.
I think when it comes to that, man, you have the ability, to impact to make a change.
Right.
And a lot of people, I think at some point it's like, oh, well, I can send you over here for this amount of dollars, for X amount of dollars. This is the place you can go. But what if that's not the place, that God has for you? So you really got to be tuned in, when it comes to that aspect. I say, people, based off of any religion, when it comes to people for that aspect, but based off, my belief is where I am, I listen to God. If God tell me, stay put, exactly where you're going. But also, too, you got to follow your heart.
Right.
You have to follow it, because that's the only way, or that gut feeling, as they say, that where you will find your true happiness. If you follow your heart instead of somebody telling you, this is where you need to go, or this is where you should be. But just because I should be there through your eyes doesn't mean that's exactly the place, where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
So for that aspect of not being able to move, there's so much stuff changing. Where it's like, I may be able to get, a piece of the pie. Don't matter. It may not be the whole pie, but eventually one day, I'll definitely be able to get the whole pie. But if I just get a slice or a crumb or something, that eventually, will over time, as it goes, that things continue to move and change, being in the right place at the right time, you're going to get some buzz. Somebody going to be noticed like, yo, who this person on the rise of the come up? Or
Right.
who that person right there in the back that always be at the meetings. They don't say nothing. They just come get information, may pass a few little cards around, and then all of a sudden they gone. But it's just there, man, to be able to make a change.
Right.
You know, I think Michael Jackson said it best, you know what I'm saying? Make that change.
Yeah.
And that's the way, you know what I'm saying, you got to do. Me and one of my mentors and brothers say, yo, you got to leave a footprint, you know what I'm saying, in this world. Make a huge impact, you know what I'm saying, for those around you and those, you know what I'm saying, that come after you. These are things, you know what I'm saying, that people one day going to have to look up to. So I definitely applaud, you know, the gentleman, you know, for staying, you know, wherever he's for whatever reason. But, you know, there's a reason, you know, why he chose to stay, you know what I'm saying, where he wanted to be, because Atlanta is that place to be, man.
Yeah.
There's so many different, you know, upcoming artists, entrepreneurs, and things that also, people are always looking for the new. And what's next? What's hot? That's even like the you know, any song. They say, yo, you're only as great as your last hit, or the last hit, you know, that you worked on, or the last piece of work that you worked on. And I think when it comes to that aspect, I think I seen the show the other day where, or it may have been a post online where T.I. had an opportunity to take a few entrepreneurs out through some program out to eat. You know, just to talk and, you know, pluck their brains and, you know, treat them out to dinner just for the essence of coming, you know, being in Atlanta. And that's where the event was being held. But we've seen a lot of different shows where, you know, T.I. had a show at one point. Even T-Pain has, I think it's T-Pain School of Business, if I'm not mistaken, where he's going around and watching, you know, different entrepreneurs. I think it's up for season 2. If I'm not mistaken, that's getting ready to come out. And, you know, so just being able to see, yo, how I may be able to get in on that, you know, from there. So just in due time.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the interview. Let the listeners learn a little bit more about you, what you got going on, and things related to that. My first question, I want you to tell the listeners a little bit more about NeverMind Creative and what's that all about.
NeverMind Creative, man, is a multimedia production company. Full in Atlanta, we specialize in audio production and video production. Of course, it was a creation of something that I've always wanted to do growing up. I think we talk so much, you know what I'm saying, about high school days, but even these are something that I wanted to do that I knew at first. I thought it was only supposed to be for myself, but then I realized that I have other artists. My brother, for instance, shout out to Jeremy Cousar, and anyone else, you know what I'm saying, that I meet along my path that has a vision, that has creativity or gift that's inside of them. The company just wasn't for me at that point. I realized it was much bigger than me. The name of the company is NeverMind Creative. Everyone has a gift within inside of them. So you should never be afraid, you know, to create with the gift that God has given you. So the company is here, man, to assist to anyone with any creativity and vision to help bring it to life. So NeverMind Creating is here for. You know, if it's from taking pictures, if it's from taking wedding photos, and videography, if it's from doing music videos, if it's from doing podcasts, interviews, anything, editing, music production, your own custom creativity, music behind your videos, or anything that you want. If it's an artist looking for a production, hey, we're here for you. They're all suitable for anyone's needs to assist in the best way that we can, man.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
So within that company, I made that decision after I left the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I graduated with my business degree. It was associates at that time from Georgia Perimeter. It was something I was like, yo, it's something more in me, man, just for the essence. Like, why would I be going to school to get a business degree? I think that is definitely a tool and a resource that you should have. Education, you know what I'm saying, is always a plus and a bonus to have. You know, some people say, unfortunately, I chose not to go to school. That's a choice that they chose. For me, I had no option. It was like, this is what you got to do, because for you have to break a barrier. You got to do something different. You got to do something that a lot of people wouldn't expect, from there. So it's like, education, go get an education. So therefore,
right.
If anything was to ever happen, you have something, you know what I'm saying, that you can fall back on. So when I did make the decision to change from not pursuing an audio production degree, it wasn't the fact that I was giving up on my music. It was the fact that I knew at that point, instead of you doing this, and this is something, you know what I'm saying, that audio production, and whatever I say, I just didn't like audio production anymore, which is not going to happen. But when it came to the business aspect, every artist or somebody in entertainment or anything, or even just around the world, any type of business, needs somebody to understand the qualities and things that comes with a business degree. When pursuing a business degree, you learn things as far as how to conduct business, how to carry yourself, how to market, how to your accounts, your finances, learn the legal side of a business and what all, things that it takes. So from there, being able to, earn a business degree and then turn around and see exactly how businesses is operated, it's like, yo, it's time to go ahead and see exactly, if you can get a business started. And I did, man.
So my next question to you is, where do you spend a lot of your time in terms of the things that you do? Because you wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You're jack of many trades, as they say.
And
So
I try my best to master them all, man. That's the best way. Like I heard the saying, jack of all trades, you're a master of none. I had to flip it, man. Hey, I could be a jack of all trades and wear many hats, but I'm trying my best, man, to master them all. I'm doing it.
good stuff. So where do you spend most of your time, or as far as the work that you do? Is, I guess, like music production or photography, videography, or where does most of your time go?
So the first one I would say right now, because a lot of people's getting married, there's been a lot of photography, definitely on my plate. From that aspect, a lot of friends of the families, people that I know that's getting married, people that want videos and things done. But I don't just operate, with myself. I operate, with friends of the families, and people back at home. That's Mr. Kenny Smith or Philip James. From there, as much as I can. And he's actually located here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if anybody looking for a photographer, videographer, Philip James is the person that you need to get here back at home in Charlotte, North Carolina. But down in Atlanta, we have AJAC Media, we have Airtight Entertainment. They're here, so of course they assist, with certain projects and things as well, because it's always about networking. It's not always sometimes that I got this opportunity, I want to keep this all to myself. It's okay, for you to share something with somebody else, and assist or collaborate, on a project with people. So that's been that aspect lately. But during the day, it's like photography, videography. At night, while everybody else is sleeping, that's when the music turn up. That's when the music turn up at that point. Different types of creations, and everything, is where it's at. I think, when music, man, is a universal language. It's
right.
going to forever, man, touch, babies all the way up. I want to do a study. I don't know exactly, I haven't told anybody, but I can tell it now. Something that I thought about. I was born a preemie, 2 pounds and 3 ounces at birth. Okay. And I wanted to do a study as to how music affects or assists babies, when they're first born. Because people say, as you get older, you may hear different frequencies and sound pitches and stuff.
Yeah.
I really wondered how would that work, in the NICU unit over probably a Presbyterian. That's where I was born, but if I can, have a way to give back, that'd be cool.
So kind of like a music therapy thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
No, that's cool. That's different. That's different. It's funny. I had somebody on recently, and we were just talking about millennial entrepreneurs and people taking what's already out there and just finding another way to apply it. Mm-hmm. Instead of like trying to reinvent the wheel. Like there's things already out here. We just got to make better use of whatever it is. So kind of, you talking about doing something like that with music is phenomenal. I would love to see, how that would turn out.
I appreciate it.
But you mentioned this during the break, the Nashville connection.
Yes.
I remember following you via social media with that. That seemed like that was a really big thing. If you could talk about that a little bit for the listeners.
Man, the Nashville Connections is definitely a place, where any artist from any type of genre, pop, hip hop, rock, R&B, urban, crossover is a place, where it's definitely to be. Can't really speak on too much, as far as aspects was coming for 2020. Just know that something big is coming.
Oh, man.
Just know something big is coming up around the corner. But I can't speak on, my previous engagements and stuff with the Nashville Connections and things what I've learned and experienced on. The Nashville Connections is what the name is. It gives the ability to bring everyone together. It's a nonprofit organization, but the charity events or any proceeds or things that is donated is given to the veterans. Song Hearts for Veterans. Shout out and owned by Joan Bistro, Mr. Dave Brooks. Thank you guys. I love you. Shout out to all my brothers and everybody that I've met through the Nashville Connections. Bert Murray, Miss Chris Lacey, Will Maddock, all of those. So the Nashville Connections Hero Salute Songs to Bus is an event where there was like 3 4 tour buses at that time, going about 70, 75 miles per hour from one destination all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. So, of course, it's like, wait a minute. Nashville, Tennessee is not necessarily 7 hours away, or it's not many of these hours away, but you have roughly about a good 5 hours on this tour bus, you know what I'm saying, working, creating with the best singer-songwriters and producers from the music industry. First year, I had an opportunity of being on the show or team as far as a gentleman by the name of Rod Michaels. He used to be signed to Sony BMG when he was back late teens, early 20s. He did a song that was released in 2008 entitled Knight in Shining Armor. I had an opportunity to just study his music up under Mr. Richard here and a guy by the name of Honcho, or he's a production head, that's his name. But, yo, B. Scott, I see you, big bro. I appreciate you, and thank you for all the love over the years. From there, so I was about 16, 17 when I was introduced to Rod Michaels. At that time, just looking at his music, studying and listening. And then moving to Atlanta, came to find out one day, he also lived in Atlanta as well. He did a show in the segment. I had the opportunity to attend the show. Ended up showing up to the event and the show late due to class, of course. Hey, boy, got to get the schooling in. But besides that, when we had the opportunity to talk for a brief moment, he was actually my referral on the bus. And told me that it would be a great idea for me to go. And we spent, man, a good 5-6 hours on the bus. It was filmed. It was actually had the opportunity to air on Channel 6 News down in Greenville, South Carolina at that time, and then everything, resided took place in Nashville, Tennessee. So that was a blessing, to have. But it's not just the bus aspect that you would learn. It teaches you, you're on a week music conference where it teaches you the different breakdown as to how you can have one-on-one experiences with top executives from the music industry. We had an opportunity to meet the owner and CEO of Icon Studios from Atlanta, Georgia, Mr. Stone Stafford. I had an opportunity to meet him and just to get feedback, on some of the work and creativity, that I've done. Not just the song that we've written on the bus, but this is just any type of music that you've created over the years, any type of genre. You have the ability to connect and work and write songs with different people from all different aspects of genre. And I think at that point, it opens your mind to a whole nother world that's out there. People say, R&B, pop, or hip-hop, this is the best way to write a song. Yo, but have you really took the time out, to tune on to a country song? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, the hottest one in the world right now is Lil Nas X featuring, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to create a song, a tune, or a melody where a child can listen to it and repeat this mother like this thing been on repeat every day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my horse to the hotel road. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Man, them little kids be going crazy.
Right.
But to be able to create something at that point where it's like, yo, can you only imagine as the younger generation grow up and the music gonna still be like, yo, I remember back in the day, we used to turn up to this thing in the cafeteria. We'd turn up to this thing in the car. We'd play that. Or you may have Justin Timberlake. I know people say, yo, he's not a country artist, but you may listen to a production by Justin Timberlake that's produced by Timbaland and Pharrell, or Pharrell, however you want to say it, where it's listed as, it comes up, to that aspect of it being, that, yo, this music is endless. It got that feel-good music to it. You can go all the way back to the days, man.
Right.
Barry Gordy, Smokey Robinson, Temptations, my favorite, Mike and Quincy of all times. To be able to create that music, you know what I'm saying, and hit people, to stay with people over the years. You say, endless possibilities. Songs that they say that will stand the test of time. And these are artists, the songs that we hear that we know that have the ability to stand the test of time. So in due time, or whatever, hopefully, I wouldn't say hopefully, soon I'll be on the roster too.
Claim it.
Soon I'll be on the roster too, man. Definitely. But yes, the Nashville Connections, if anybody's looking to have an opportunity to go, I think, from any type of artist, if it's media, if you're trying to do media production, it doesn't matter. It's just not just open to artists. It's open to anyone that's in the arts or creativity and media. So the first year I went, Rod Michaels was my mentor, and I had an opportunity to meet Miss Crystal Nicole and her team from there. So Crystal Nicole is an amazing songwriter. She's written for a lot of different people within the industry. I'm just thankful, that I can call her a big sister and a mentor. And just the things that I've learned from her that first year over the trip and that week experience. Then the second year, I had Kalina Harper as my mentor the second year. Didn't win the first year, but of course, you never give up. Got to stay focused and continue to grind. Second year came back and won the second year. So, of course, we'll be waiting to see exactly, for this song to air, in 2020 and some things we got going on. So, just in due time, man.
Word.
Just in due time.
All the best. All the best. Really quick before I let you go, you got any events or anything you want the listeners to be on the lookout for?
A few events right now. I definitely want to do a networking event soon. I haven't made the decision if I'm going to do it here in Charlotte or if I'm going to do it down in the ATL. But I may do it in the ATL, man, so y'all can come catch on that vibe and that wave down there. If not, man, it'd definitely be a good place to always come back home, with family and friends to be able to have it. Just sitting back waiting, man. I did an event not too long ago with Miss Jane Fonda for her nonprofit organization, which I am a member
I saw
of.
that. Yeah.
From there, it's GCAP, you can say Georgia Campaign Adolescent, you can say Power Potentials or Potential Powers, or you can say Prevention Pregnancy. So however you want to do it, but it's a nonprofit organization that deals with sexual health and awareness. And I joined the organization, man, just by doing the talent show outside in the cafeteria at school. Just not knowing what the organization, anything was by or the things that it has done from that aspect. But once I found out about it, it wasn't just the name or the reason that got me to sign. It was just the information and stuff that you can always continue to inform people, because people will never know. It's like the blind leading the blind if they don't know information or if they're withheld information that they never knew anything about. So the best way for people to do, somebody has to learn this information and be able to share it, apply it. So therefore, you can continue to make a huge impact and effect in a positive way.
Right.
That it is out there. So had an opportunity, just to be a part of the organization as a peer educator. I've had an opportunity to assist with recording, and this was actually the process as the business was getting started. I actually record video for the organization. Then I ended up writing a song with a friend of the family. Shout out to Joylia Hamilton. I thank you for that. Writing a song, I helped co-wrote the song entitled Risky Business for the organization, so that was a blessing within itself. Man, and just being there from there, and that opportunity led, for me having the opportunity to speak at her 80th birthday party. So that was a blessing, within itself. Man. Just the right place at the right time, allowing God to move. And man, I would always cherish that moment, in life. So, her, we got birthdays in the same month. So that's my mama. Mama Jane, if you out there, I love you. Always. Thank you.
Good stuff. Let the listeners know where they can find you. So that, because I want them to be able to keep tabs on what you're doing and be able to stay up to date on all the cool things you're doing as well, and also
that,
check out your work as well.
I thank you. So if anyone's looking to follow NeverMind Creating on Instagram, it is NeverMind Creating. If you're looking for it on Facebook, you can do Facebook NeverMind Creating Productions. I mean, the best way, man, just to stay in contact as well. If you're looking for the email address, that's nevermindcreating@gmail.com. Do it all. But not just for me, man. You can't give it up for me, man. You got to give it up, for Clifford, man, and the SANE Show for allowing everyone, man, to give the opportunity to come and experience and talk about different aspects, careers or things, whatever that God has created them to do out here in the world. And, man, I just want to say about this show, man, you are definitely creating, man, a huge platform, not just for the guests that you have on the show, man, but just continue, man, to allow God to use you, man. I'm very blessed and thankful,
Appreciate that. I wasn't ignoring you. I was actually going and following your page.
Man, I appreciate that. No, you're good, man. You're good, man.
But, that's just the main thing about the SANE Show. Just creating a platform to not only allow myself to have a voice, but everybody else to have a voice as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad that, again, you came on. It's always great talking to you.
Thank you, man.
Still a great guy and great leader, and still look up to you and keep leading by example. For real. I appreciate you coming on and taking time out of this beautiful Saturday.
Hey, man. Listen, I thank you, man. It's a blessing, man. I thank you for that, man. Definitely, man. I appreciate you, man. Because you say, man, you look up to me, man. I look up, man, to everyone. Who's doing something positive. Who's doing something great.
As I always say, I lean on you just like you lean on me.
Yeah,
so
man, listen, that's where it's at, man. We up, man. Just continue, to push one another.
Right.
And that's where, and that's how it should. That's how it should be.
Right.
From there, man. So if it's anything, man, you ever need, from NeverMind Creating, me just in general, But any assistance, man, you know what I'm saying, with the company, let me know, man. You know what I mean? I'm here for you, man.
I'll definitely keep it in mind, and I'll definitely spread the word, too. You know, anybody looking for anything, especially down in Atlanta, you know, I'll definitely be like, yo, I got somebody.
Oh, hey, look, I appreciate that, man. You know, listen, doors are always open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're in Atlanta, if you ever, if it's just, man, I'm coming through Atlanta that way, man, to go to a whole nother state. Man, if you ever need a change, anything, stop by, send a text.
Will do.
Man, hey, I may not be able to catch you, but hey, I'll blow from you at the top of the bridge. I see you, man. I see you out there. Safe travels. Man, but you know what I'm saying, with the business and the podcast, man, it's get ready, man, to go far, man.
Appreciate that.
It's going far.
Appreciate that. Means a lot. Means a lot.
Man,
especially coming from you.
You buzzing over here, man. You got a lot of followers. Listen, I need everybody who's on my follow, who follow me, anybody that's watching right now. Everybody go tune and follow, man, the @SANE Show. So that's Shane_Show.
Yep.
So I need everybody to go follow that right now. Follow it on Facebook. Follow it on Instagram.
Plug.
Twitter, all, everywhere where it needs to be. Go play it. If it airs, if you hear it, that's what Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, iTunes.
Everywhere.
Everybody tune in. Tune in. This is the place, you know what I'm saying, where you would want to be. Shout out to every business or every business owner. Country Muscle, I see you out there, man. I love y'all. Just continue to stay focused. And everybody, man, just continue to have a great day. Have a wonderful, man, and a blessed day. And we thank you all for your love and support. And we love and support you all back. I appreciate that.
And with that being said, thank you everybody for listening. Everybody, you guys heard where you can find out about NeverMind Creative. So go check it out. Stay posted on what's going on with Nicholas Cousar and NeverMind Creative.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Nick, for coming on. Thank you everybody for continuing to listen. And with that being said, this is the SANE Show, the show about nothing and everything, episode 38. And until next time, we're out.